What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Sam Adams here, and tonight I want to talk to you about the new Grand Theft Auto 5 release that is coming out for PS4 and Xbox One on November the 18th and PC early next year on January the 27th. Rockstar has added a ton of new stuff to this new generation version so that you feel like you're getting your money's worth whenever you switch over from last gen to new generation, and not only do you feel like you're getting your money's worth, you are definitely getting your money's worth. I actually went through the blog post and made notes on all the additional content that is coming to the game that they've told us about. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm just going to go down the list so that you know what you can expect when you pick up the game. First off, you've got the Imponte Duke O'Death. Basically, this is a solid black, kind of a matte finish looking car. It looks like the Dukes of Hazzard car, if you're familiar with that. It's a muscle-shaped car. And all in all, it looks really cool. There's a picture of Trevor leaning up against it in the blog post, which I will link down below. But they describe this car as nearly invulnerable, so it sounds like it's going to be pretty good for hitting pedestrians. Next up, we've got the Dodo Seaplane, and this returns from previous GTA games. Basically, this is a plane that can land on the ocean. It'll be really convenient whenever you're doing beach landings, if you're trying to get away from cops. If you're trying to do something on the beach anyways, and you know it will attract police attention, you can park the plane near the shoreline, go do your villainous deeds, then jump in the plane and take off flying over the ocean. All in all, it's a pretty cool addition to the vehicle lineup. The next thing that's mentioned in the blog post is that you can follow Michael through something known as the murder mystery. Basically, to me, this looks like they are doing an LA Noire style side story with Michael, and this is pretty cool because Rockstar has tons of freedom considering they own the rights to LA Noire. They developed that game also. It was an amazing crime drama story, and I would highly recommend checking it out if you've never heard of it. But other than that, this is just going to be one of those funny little side stories just because it's Michael and it's an LA Noire style crime drama. Need I say more? Next up, we've got two weapons that are mentioned. First off, the railgun, which is experimental military technology. It is mentioned that you can actually go to ammunition and use it in the firing range. It sounds pretty cool. Recently, there's been a lot of railguns mentioned in gaming, and it just seems like GTA is following the trend, though it'll be interesting how this gun actually works against vehicles, because railguns in the new Battlefield 4 Final Stand DLC can pretty much take down any vehicle with one shot, and it'll be interesting to see if Rockstar follows suit. Then we have the hatchet, which is basically just a hatchet. You know, you chop axes, or you chop wood with it. You don't chop axes with hatchets unless you're some kind of weird psychopath. But you can use the hatchet, and honestly, who doesn't want to go around killing people like an Indian? Next up, we have Franklin, and with Franklin, you can do the wildlife photography challenges now. And basically what these are is that whenever Rockstar was redoing Grand Theft Auto 5 for the new generation, they were able to add a ton of new wildlife to the game. And I think this is just a little side mission basically to show off that Rockstar did add a ton of wildlife to the game, because as you're playing through Grand Theft Auto 5, a lot of people get wrapped up in the city, a lot of people get wrapped up in different different sections of the game, and they might not always experience the different species of animals in general that are in the game. So this gives you the opportunity to check out everything that's been added. Not to mention, in addition to checking out all the new content, you also unlock the Kraken sub, which is a lot like the submarine from that one mission where you are basically infiltrating the giant, shipping crate ship. I don't know what you call it. I don't know the mission off the top of my head. But you play as Trevor and you go in the submarine. Basically, this is that kind of submarine, except you can use it in your single-player wanderings. Next up, a pretty cool addition to the race world of Grand Theft Auto 5. You have stock car races, and basically these stock car races are pretty much the same as the other races, except you can get into cars that advertise companies that are in the game, such as Redwood Cigarettes. That's just one amongst others. But it's just a pretty cool addition to the game because races get a little stale after a while, as I've found out. And with these new stock car races, it has the opportunity to throw in a little bit of variation whenever you're racing your favorite cars. Now we have Monkey Mosaics, which is basically where you go around taking pictures of street art, otherwise known as creative graffiti in the real world. And as you take pictures of this creative street art, you get closer and closer, and at the end of it you can unlock a wearable monkey outfit, because all of the street art turns out to be centered around monkeys and primates in general. And after this, you get to unlock the, Go-Go Monkey Blista, which is basically a version of a car that is already in the game, but it has a different paint job on it. It'll be interesting to see if the Go-Go has any effect on how much Go-Go the car actually has, aka if it will go faster, but only time will tell with that. There are two other mentioned vehicles in the blog post that are explicitly defined as going to be in the game. These include the Cheval Marshall, which is a giant looking awesome monster truck. It kind of reminds me of my old first truck, but on giant tires. It looks really cool, and the blue color looks awesome. And then you have the Zero Gas Blimp, which, if you remember the Atomic Blimp from the launch of Grand Theft Auto 5, basically this is an updated version of that moves faster and is more, maneuverable. It moves faster and is more maneuverable in its turns and stuff, so it can actually be used as a genuine form of transportation, as opposed to just saying, hey, I pre-ordered the game, here's the Atomic Blimp. In addition to all of these things, over 100 songs have been added to the library, so as you are running around Los Santos doing all of your villainous deeds, there will never be a dull moment where you hear the same song 5 times in 2 minutes, which is always a good thing. And also, you get $500,000 for both the story mission and then another $500,000 for the online campaign, or $500,000 for the online, $500,000 for the single player. Whenever you pre-order this new version on the PlayStation Store. I know this is happening, and also in GameStop and just in general. I think there's actually an added bonus if you pre-order on PSN, but we're not getting into that. All in all, you get $500K for both single player and online multiplayer, and that's pretty cool because it'll get new players started off on the right foot, being able to buy a couple of things that will help them in the online community. Speaking of online, they've upgraded the servers to where they can handle 30 players per online session. This is really cool because if you've ever played a game of Grand Theft Auto Online, you know that it is just insanely fun and there are tons of explosions and people are putting bounties on other people. It's kind of like Red Dead, except in the gaming or the Grand Theft Auto universe. And it's a really, really fun experience, and with 30 people, there are just going to be more explosions and more insanity, and all of that, both of those combined, just yes. So Grand Theft Auto had an amazing release last year. It's shaping up to be one of the biggest releases again for the second year in a row, which is something we don't have the opportunity to say very much. Unfortunately, I never finished the campaign when I was playing on Xbox 360, but that doesn't actually matter. If you have a social club account with Rockstar, I think that's what their little club is called. If you have one of the Rockstar club accounts, you're able to transfer your session directly from whatever console you were playing on before to whatever console you're playing on now. This is really cool because if you played on Xbox 360 like me and you bought a PlayStation 4, it doesn't matter that you went with two different competing companies. You're still able to transfer your save game data over to the new one. And had they not done this, I would have had to start over. It wouldn't have been terrible, but it definitely would have brought back my experience a little bit because I would have remembered all the missions and not gotten the same effect out of it as I would have, just continuing from where I left off. So like I said, all of these things are shaping up to make an even better Grand Theft Auto 5 experience than we all saw last year. And even that was an amazing experience in itself. So if you haven't checked out Grand Theft Auto 5, I would recommend checking it out on the last generation consoles or the new generation consoles. It's just an amazing story and game in general. If you guys like this video, drop me a like down below. Comment what you are most excited about in the new version of Grand Theft Auto 5. Again, coming out on PS4 and Xbox One on November the 18th and PC on January the 27th of 2015. I know I'm extremely excited for this game. And also, as a side note, if you get a chance, go over to my channel and check out some of my other content. I tend to post a lot of videos, and I almost guarantee that there is something you will find entertaining. As always, again, I appreciate each and every one of you that have taken the time to watch this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.